Good afternoon. On behalf of Governor Cuomo, I want to welcome you to the bill signing of the New York SUNY 2010 bill. The order today will be David Lavallee, who is the SUNY Vice Chancellor and Provost, will speak after me, followed by Caitlyn Beachner, who is the SUNY Student Assembly President, who's here to speak, and then followed by Governor Cuomo in his signing. I just want, on behalf of the Governor, I want to welcome you all to this. This is a great day and a great bill. A lot has happened in the last 8 months. The Governor has led a dramatic change across the state, and this is one more example with all the successes that have taken place, bringing all the disparate sides together, as Governor Cuomo has done with this bill, has been extraordinary. The Governor has invested $140 million in 4 campuses. The SUNY system is the crown jewel of our state, and it's probably the best public higher education system in the entire country. This $140 million investment to these 4 specific campuses is a huge investment, and it's going to mirror what the regional councils are doing. What Governor Cuomo wants is the SUNY system to be a catalyst for economic development, which it is, and also to be connected and integrated into the regional council program. And just a few minutes ago, we just left SUNY Albany, where we announced a Capital District Regional Council. So it's easy to see how it all comes in. It's about investing in our future. It's about creating jobs. It's about investing in education to keep our young people here. And it's an extraordinary accomplishment. This is something that you will see that the SUNY system not only educates the brightest young people in this state, but also creates jobs. So what the Governor has done with this bill is make an investment in our young people in our education, make an investment in jobs and economic growth, and it really is a tremendous step forward, and it's just consistent with what he has done since coming into office. So it gives me great pleasure to bring up next the SUNY Vice Chancellor and Provost, David Lavallee, for some comments, followed by Caitlyn Beachner.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Governor Duffy, Governor Cuomo, and friends. I am honored to be here on behalf of our Chancellor, Nancy Zimpher. Let me start with a very brief summary of my background. I'm a native New Yorker with a SUNY family, many SUNY degrees. I've proudly worked for public higher education in New York, first at CUNY and now at SUNY, for the past 30 years. I began in the classrooms and research labs at Hunter College for 15 years. Then I oversaw the academic programs at the City College of New York and then SUNY New Paltz. Here at the system, as Provost, I helped the Chancellor guide our academic mission for 64 campuses across this great state. I am committed to the mission of public higher education. An excellent and affordable education should be available to every New Yorker. New Yorkers should be able to complete their degree requirements on schedule. That reality over the past few years has become increasingly difficult. The courses or programs they need were not always available, which meant it took more time and cost more money for them to graduate. This is why Chancellor Zimpher made rational tuition her top priority and has focused so much energy to help see it become law. Not only because our students will know exactly how much they need to invest in their education, but also because the students will have what they need in order to get their degree on time. And it would not have happened were it not for Governor Cuomo. The bill that the Governor is signing today is a landmark reform. He's accomplished so many significant things in such a short time that you might not realize just how big a deal this is. It is huge. It is huge for us and for New York. SUNY has been advocating for rational tuition for 10 years, and now no other state has what we have, a 5-year tuition plan. Last week, we also announced a new initiative at SUNY, the Strategic Campus Alliances, which will call for campuses to share administrative costs so that we can redirect those resources to academics. We expect that this initiative will repurpose millions of dollars throughout the system. Combined with rational tuition, we can now hire more full-time faculty, increase our course offerings, and ultimately enroll more New Yorkers at SUNY. The new law enacts a rational tuition plan, which will give each campus in SUNY and CUNY the ability to raise tuition by up to $300 a year for 5 years, approximately 5.5% per year. In the past 20 years, the average SUNY tuition increase has been higher than that, 6.7%, well above this 5-year increase in the legislation. And during that time, what we have seen is several years with no increase at all, and then spikes of up to 50%. In addition, The university centers at Albany, Binghamton, Buffalo, and Stony Brook will be able to implement a rational plus tuition to help offset the additional costs of running research campuses. It includes up to a 10% out-of-state increase and a $75 excellence fee, which will equal 3% increase annually over 5 years. That's more than enough for one piece of legislation. However, the New York SUNY 2020 program also acknowledges our 4 research centers as the economic drivers of New York. The New York SUNY 2020 Challenge Grant Program provides resources for our universities that they need to expand their campuses, invest in new cutting-edge projects, create private-public partnerships, and generate jobs. By signing the New York SUNY 2020 bill, Governor Cuomo is making the SUNY system a key player in the economic agenda for New York, and we could not be prouder, Governor, to be on your team. I'm happy now to introduce someone else who represents our students, whose support of this bill was critical, our SUNY Student Assembly President, Kaitlyn Beachner.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor Lavallee, and thank you, Governor Cuomo, for inviting me here today. On behalf of the SUNY student body, it is an honor to be here with you for the signing of this bill. My name is Caitlyn Beachner, and I am the president of the SUNY Student Assembly. Governor Cuomo and his administration recognize that economic development cannot come from a mandate from Albany, nor is it a one-size-fits-all program. Instead, the governor is giving 4 of our SUNY campuses the opportunity to become a key player in his bottom-up regional economic development plan. As the Lieutenant Governor said, I too believe that SUNY can and will be the leading catalyst for creating jobs and revitalization of New York State's economy. New York SUNY 2020 will provide these campuses with the tools that they need to become state-of-the-art academic institutions. There is no way one can advance an innovation agenda for the economic development of New York State without positioning SUNY at the center of the effort, and without the coordination and leadership of our Regional Economic Council. But I am here today to represent the students of SUNY. This initiative also allows for a rational tuition increase that gives our students and their families the ability to anticipate and prepare for the cost of a quality higher education while still maintaining the affordability of SUNY. This plan is about fairness for students and their parents, fairness for our faculty and the SUNY administration, and also about fairness for New Yorkers. It's fair for our students because they will be protected from unexpected spikes in tuition in the middle of their education that could prevent them from finishing their degree on time. It's fair for our low-income students because New York SUNY 2020 enacts a tuition credit program to ensure that no SUNY student will have to sacrifice their education due to fiscal concerns. It's fairness for our parents because now they can realistically plan for their children's cost of education. It's fair for our faculty administrators because now they can count on a steady stream of revenue to invest into their classrooms and on their campuses. And it's fair for New Yorkers because it will allow us to invest in our SUNY system and restore it as the gem of New York State that it once was. This funding will breathe a breath of fresh air into our SUNY campuses, and I am proud to be here with our governor to kick this exciting initiative off. And now, it is my honor to introduce our governor, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you very much, Madam President, for that kind introduction and those comments. Provost, a pleasure to be with you. Our regards to the Chancellor, who very much wanted to be with us today, but you couldn't be. Lieutenant Governor, thank you very much once again. Before I begin, just to note once again the passing of a great governor of the state of New York, Governor U.L. Carey. The governor presided in this room for many, many years. He did much good work for this state. The papers have noted the work that Governor Carey did saving New York City from the fiscal crisis, and that is true, and that was a dramatic moment that demonstrated his leadership, but his accomplishments also go well beyond that, and they are statewide in scope and they're comprehensive. And it's a tragedy and it's sad, and our thoughts and prayers are with his family today. This issue, as the Provost suggested, this is a very big deal. We talked about the Power for Jobs bill last week, which was a bill that had expired for 8 years, and for 8 years the legislature was trying to pass the bill. Provost said that rational tuition, the SUNY was trying to accomplish for about 10 years. It's a good idea, it's an obvious idea, it was a necessary idea, it was long overdue. But sometimes in Albany, just because it was a good idea and necessary and common sense didn't mean it was necessarily going to pass. But this is an idea whose time has come, and the bill passed this year. There are two components to it. First, as you heard, is the rational tuition. As Caitlyn mentioned, rational tuition means families can plan. This is going to be the tuition next year, and the year after, and the year after. It's not going to be flat for 3 years and then a dramatic spike without any warning that could take a family's budget and totally toss it a kilter. So families can plan. Predictability for 5 years, which is very important. And the organizations can manage. SUNY will know what its revenue stream is next year and the year after and the year after. So they can make decisions, they can hire, they can build, because they have predictability. And what the SUNYs were saying is we can't manage because we don't know what the revenues are next year or the year after. So rational tuition, just what the word suggests. It's rational. Families can plan, organizations can manage. The second component of the bill takes the SUNY system and takes the first step, maybe even the first stride, towards making SUNY the economic engine that it can be and needs to be for this state. You look all across the country. Where is the economy moving when it's linked primarily to an institution of higher education? And that then is the catalyst. And SUNY is poised to be a great economic engine for this state. And we're starting with the 4 university centers. We've already spoken at length about UB 2020, Buffalo, and Stony Brook. Albany and Binghamton also qualify, and this will be an additional $140 million in total in investment in the university centers to serve as regional economic engines. So the bill is comprehensive in that it really moves SUNY in a new direction, and it does it dramatically. The running of the organizations, the increase in their ability to perform their function, the predictability for the families, and moving SUNY to a position as the economic engine for this state. It's been my pleasure to work with a vast array of people on this. The Chancellor receives special kudos. She's worked diligently on this, and it wouldn't be a reality today without her good effort. So pass that on, please, if you would, Provost, to the Chancellor. And with that, let's sign the bill. You ready? It's easy to sign a bill. Everything is difficult in this job. Any questions? Myself or any of our guests? Provost? Madam President? The Assembly? How many points did you win by the way? I'm kidding, I'm kidding. It's a big, 15%. 51%. Out of 5?
Yeah.
That's impressive. Good politician.
After the 5 years, what happens? Could spikes still happen? Could continued increase in tuition happen?
After 5 years, Mike, I don't know. It's 5 years from now. The concept remains the same, right? It should be rational. Would the numbers be the same? I think you probably adjust the numbers depending on the economy and the circumstance. But what's most important to me about this bill is the concept of the rationality of it. The political process has not handled setting tuitions well, period. Flat, 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 dramatic increase, flat, flat, flat. When you look at the increase, this increase is not just predictable, planned, et cetera. It's also less than the average of the increases through the legislative process. So at the end of 5 years, I would hope more of the same: rationality, predictability, planning purposes. What would the number be? I don't know, Mike. You'd have to wait and see.
Families should expect that SUNY tuition will continue to rise at some fairly significant dollar amount every year from in perpetuity?
No, he said at the end of 5 years, you'd have to see what the economy is doing at the end of 5 years.
Some number. You can adjust that number.
The number could be 0, right? Depends on what happens with the economy. But the predictability, the rationality, I would hope would continue. If you were suggesting maybe at the end of 5 years we should go back to the old way, which is what I thought you may be suggesting, I think that would be a terrible mistake.
The question was, that is what we go back to, right? Because there's nothing, obviously, after 5
No,
years.
you could pass another bill that has another 5 years or 10 years at another number. And I'm saying that's what I would advocate for. I think it would be a terrible mistake to go back to the old system.
Governor, the University of Albany is planning a football stadium. They announced that publicly, and they have yet to put forward their SUNY 2020 plan. Is that the kind of project you want to see as part of these plans?
I don't know. I'd have to see what the thought is and what the.
Do you focus on academics, or are you looking for simple infrastructure like sports stadiums?
Yeah, I'd have to see the plan.
Governor, where do things stand with the challenge grants right now, and what's the next step? Can you update us on that?
We will have an announcement shortly on Stony Brook and Buffalo, because they came in and they presented their plans, and there's been quite a bit of dialogue back and forth. And we've invited Binghamton and Albany to do plans and present their plans. They require approval before they're funded, obviously. But we look forward to meeting with Binghamton and Albany, and we'll have an announcement soon on Stony Brook and Buffalo.